So the time I'm recording this, it is Easter. So I would just have to say Happy Easter to everybody, and I hope you have a great one. But let's get started here on the last episode of Dimension W, which, I gotta say, I enjoyed the last episode. It wasn't bad. It wasn't, really that good, but it was fine. I wish, just to get this off right away, you see in the beginning this loser and his daughter or whatever, like facing against this big monster that has Sophia's heart and everything. Like, it's weird. It's really weird, but like you can see like what they were trying to do with loser and everything. I just wish he got more development throughout the series. Like, it's like he showed up in like episode 2 or 1 or whatever, and then he went away for a few episodes, but then he came back, and I was like, why didn't you do more development throughout the series with him? It just felt kind of weird why they didn't do that, because it feels like he would have been like a standout character. Like, for me, anyways, I feel like he would have been a real good standout character for the show if he got more fleshed out throughout the series. Mira and Kiyuma's relationship, and this was, I feel like it should have been expanded upon, because we see in this episode when she's like trying to tell him, like, this is not like you. You need to, you don't run away from your problems or whatever. You like stand up and you are who you are and everything. And I felt, and like, she's like, I've seen this and everything, I've seen everything that we went through together. And I'm just like, I wish that your relationship together was expanded upon, because a lot of the times in the show, they weren't together. Or when they were, he would just call her a piece of junk. And I get what the whole piece of junk thing was referring to with everything that was going on and how he thought about her. But it should have been expanded upon more than that throughout the show. And I feel like that was a missed opportunity that really, they didn't really try to do. Which, I was like, really? Like, I don't know. Like, it's like they didn't really even try to do it. It felt kind of weird. Uh, Kuma's past with his wife and everything that you see. I think this is probably the best part of the show, is his past with his wife or girlfriend. He was gonna get married to her. I'm just gonna say his wife. His wife and everything. It was nice. I'm like that they did what they did with it. They could have expanded upon it to make it much better, but for what they did with it, I thought it was nice. With the whole like decision, like, I'm not gonna save you. Like, you don't have to save me. You should just destroy it, or whatever. At the end of this, you should destroy the god coil or whatever. I forgot what it's really called, but I'm just gonna call it like a god coil. Like, you should destroy it and everything. You got to see what happened to her, and I got to say, this episode, it looked fantastic. Like, the art and animation, I was like, damn, like that. It was almost like movie quality. I had to say, for like the animation and stuff, like, it was good, and the colors, like, God, it was so beautiful. Uh, the villain was garbage. I'm gonna say that. Like, I'm like, none of this whole he didn't get like enough development. No, he's a straight up garbage. Like, he was like crazy, and then he got even more crazy at the end. He's like, oh, and I was just like, oh god. I was like, this guy's horrible. Like, he's just not good. Like, they didn't even try to like have him like teased or mentioned or anything throughout the show, except when we got to like episode 10 or whatever, which I was like, are we really like gonna, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of weird that you're introducing the villain in like episode 10 or 11. I think it was 10, I'm pretty sure. And like it just felt like really rushed and everything. Like, it, he should have just had more time, really. And that's kind of like the underlining message of like what this show is. I feel like it could have been great, but just what happens is he this show just doesn't expand upon like what it needs to. And I mean, you definitely see the outcome of these events and everything. That I definitely, when you see Mira at the end get her heart, it feels like her father finally gave her like a soul or whatever, it's symbolizing. And then the villain or whatever getting the hand on the head or whatever, and he finally feels at peace or whatever. And like, you see it. And then Kiyuma meeting his wife or whatever again, and getting that memories back, and you're just like, wow, like you just like, you see like what they were getting at here in the show. And it's just that they didn't expand upon it or flesh it out enough that I felt like they could have if they had more episodes. And I mean, source material, I don't know if there was more source material in this, or if there's like going to be a second season, because at the end of this, after the end credits, they're fighting. They're going out and they're collectors. They're collecting the illegal coils again. And I'm just like, well, if it has a second season, maybe it could be better. But this story that they told definitely could have been fleshed out a lot more and could have been way better than it is, especially with characters like the Africans and stuff like that. And even though they were like, below average, but like you could see what they were doing with it, and then everything, with the plots and everything, characters could have been fleshed out a lot more in 22 episodes, or 24 would have been a whole lot better. Also, pacing I felt like was a little fast on some episodes. Like, you would have like a few episodes where like they would take time or whatever on some things, and like other things like they would just like rush past, and you'd be like, what the, like, slow it down, like the haunted house episode I think is a good example of them kind of rushing past the first part of that, in the two episodes that they had for that arc. And then the second episode kind of slowed it down, and they're like trying to flesh it out a little bit. And I was like, you could have done that more if you just slowed it down in the first part. Also, in that, they had like other characters. Like, I was just like, who is that? Like, the end of the haunted house arc, they had a thing where they had a thing where this girl was in this house and she was talking to her. And I was like, who the heck is that? Who is that? Like, they never mention it again. That was never mentioned again. I was like, who the heck? Also, it wasn't clear that the freaking zombie guy or whatever was Loser, and like talking to that girl or whatever. I was like, oh, that's him. That was never explained either. I was like, okay, so there's some things that like kind of just like really nigga, like you could have done a little bit better with that. But the score I would give this anime is a 6. I'm gonna give it a 6 mainly because I can see what they're doing. The art and animation were great. In some points you can see it dip, but overall I have to say they're great. You can definitely see what they're doing in the show and what they were trying to do and everything, and the characters that they were trying to set up. But again, they just don't flesh it out enough. They don't do some stuff like in the Mira and Kiyuma's relationship. They never even try to flesh that out for some reason, when that was kind of like one of the cruxes of the show. And again with Loser, like Loser could have been great. I really love Loser's design, and like not just design, but like his like whole thing with like he's a father and like he has a daughter and everything, and he lost his wife and like he's out for like revenge or whatever. It could have been so great. But they just didn't do it. It just sucks. And the villain was garbage as well. And this is kind of short for one of my overall opinions on a show or whatever. But yeah, 6 out of 10 is what I would think about this show. Not much to say else than, I understand what they were doing, but they should have just fleshed it out more. That's going to be my thing. So tell me what you guys think about this series. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I felt like the ending was satisfying, but they could have done a lot more. So yeah, tell me what you guys think, and I will catch you guys later.